Not all that long ago, things were looking pretty bleak for travel, and I threw out an estimate for when I thought we would have a big trip again. I'm fairly certain we won't have many opportunities to travel abroad until 2022. But we will see. And we did see, and things got better for us in the United States. We got vaccinated in a fairly orderly fashion, and then St. Paddy's Day happened, and news that could not be ignored.
Hey, so get this. I just read that Iceland is going to be letting in fully vaccinated Americans in the not too distant future.
So do you want to go?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Domestic air travel within the United States in May 2021 was jam-packed, and social distancing was a crapshoot. All seats were filled on our flights. There appeared to be decent changes from time to time though, like loading the planes from the back to the front and spacing groups out. But unloading still had people crawling all over each other. The mandatory masks were good, and there were no problems during our flights for people not wanting to wear them. I was thankful that we were supplied with snacks and a drink. We needed it, as there was not much time for us in the morning as we had to get up super early to start our day.
Got a bed, bitch, go.
The secure areas in Atlanta and Boston were quieter than normal, with a good amount of stores and restaurants closed. But there was definitely not a lack of people making their way through the terminals. International travel was another experience. The check-in area at Boston was nearly empty, and the check-in process went quickly due to a lack of travelers. Again, the secure area at Boston's international terminal was a ghost town. I'd say 98% of everything was closed, and the restaurant that was open had a limited menu and even limited ingredients. Originally, we purchased our tickets to fly out of Chicago, but quickly noticed that Icelandair was not exactly flying in or out of there. So using FlightAware, I was able to figure out that Boston was the only connection to Iceland from the United States at that time. We were able to adjust our tickets, but it meant that we had to spend more money to fly across the United States before heading to Iceland. Our international flight was probably half full at most. We definitely had room to spread out, and some on the plane used that to stretch out and sleep. We celebrated the flight of finally having a big vacation together with a gull beer brewed in Reykjavík. Then, arriving about a half hour early, our pilot said that we would take a slight detour over the Reykjanes Peninsula and have a look at the volcano before landing. So, we were treated to an aerial view of the lunar-like landscape of this part of Iceland, with its old volcanic craters pocking the ground, the weathered lava flows spreading out and gaining moss. And Bethany excitedly announced features that she recognized, like the cliff in the Sigur Rós music video, Glossoli. And after a sharp turn, we were above it. The volcano we had been watching the progress of over the past few weeks, and it was erupting. This was an excellent way to mark our arrival to Iceland. And after the cool volcano comes the not cool processing into the country and COVID testing. Now, with only one plane landing and not even being half full, this didn't take that much extra time, but As more flights start arriving and more people on those flights, this will get exponentially longer for everyone being processed into the country, because everyone arriving needs to take the test. A cheek swab and a sinus, we'll call it a twirl. Vaccinated people from approved areas need to then quarantine in their accommodations until their test is processed and negative. If this test is positive, you are now quarantined for 5 days mandatory, and you will need to take a second test to prove you are negative at the time of this recording. Our results took about 6 hours. Again, that's probably going to get longer as more people start arriving. But through all of this, Covid.is is your best resource. Make sure you are pre-registered. Make sure you downloaded the tracking app you will need to have on your phone and active at all times in the country. Be a good traveler. Prepare to follow Iceland's rules and laws. And then keep in mind, you have to return to your own country. For us, it was the United States, and the United States has rules for people returning. So you're going to have to follow those rules too. And I think you can find those at the State Department website. I don't want you to end up like some people did on their departures out of Iceland, finding out that they needed to have a PCR test and the results before they could leave. Then blame people in Iceland for them not knowing that. That's not Iceland's job to remind you what you need to do to return to your country. Please do your research up front. Now, with all the factual stuff out of the way, stop in the duty-free shop before leaving the airport if you want alcohol. It is drastically cheaper than going to the Vinbúðin, Iceland's liquor store. There are regulations, though, on how much each person can purchase at the duty-free, and it is not scaled for Wisconsinites. We left with 2 large bottles of Reykjanes vodka and a 6-pack of Viking beer. Now be aware, you can't leave your bags to the side, and 2 checked bags, 2 roller bags, 2 personal items, all can be difficult to manage while shopping. But now you're past immigration, you have your bags, you have your duty-free liquor, and you are free to exit the airport. Coming up next time, we'll cover our mini quarantine and Reykjavik exploration. Make sure to come back for more Iceland 2021.